Yes YouTube, welcome back to another video and thanks for joining me. So in today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at these isopods. If you watched my last video you'll know that we unboxed these in the last video but I didn't show you what they were. So today we're going to set them up with a new home and hopefully try and culture them. So that's something that interests you, then make sure you stay tuned because that's coming up right after this. So before we get started, in the last video we unboxed a load of stuff from Buzz's Reptiles. Now I'll leave the link down to Buzz's Reptiles in the description. We also opened some plants which we added temporarily into Bert's enclosure. Some of those are for Bert and some are for the Five-Bellied Toads enclosure. So if you're not yet subscribed to this channel yet, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell because all those things are coming up, as well as new builds and new animals and plenty of things to come. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But today we're going to mainly focus on these isopods or woodlice if you're from the UK like I am. Now I'm going to set them up in a small plastic container with a hope to breed them and culture them, because these, I'm not going to try and attempt to say their name. I'll drop it up here for you. I'll probably just butcher it. But these are very beautiful isopods and something you don't see, well, I haven't seen before. So what I'm hoping to do is to culture them and then obviously breed them and get more and more. Now these aren't a tropical species necessarily, they're more a forest sort of environment. So we're not going to be putting them in Bert's or any of the enclosures we've got currently. But if you've been following the channel, you'll know we're going to be getting a ball python, which is coming a week this Saturday. So we're going to be doing a bioactive setup for that, and these are more suited to that enclosure. So hopefully we'll culture some and even potentially we might breed them and start selling them, who knows. But let's get into setting them up. Okay, so we're going to be using this plastic container. Now because they're not a tropical species, I've drilled plenty of holes in there because it doesn't need to be too humid. So we're going to set this up for them now, which should be ample space for them. And sorry if I'm squeezing into the shot, I thought it's probably more important you see this than me. So first thing we need to do is add some substrate in there, which we'll go ahead and do now. So we've added the substrate in now, so I added some Arcadia earth mix, I think it was, and some cypress mulch in here as well. And I'll leave links down in the description for both of those. I'm just going to mix these together a little bit just so we get it nice and mixed up, and there's some aeration as well in the soil rather. But we're going to add a few more things into this before we add them in. But saying that, I might add them in first so we can have a good look at them. But that should be fine. Okay, so we've got the isopods here. Look at them, aren't they beautiful? So there should be 5 in here, and like I said, they're from Buzz's Reptiles. I'll leave the links in the description for Buzz's Reptiles, but really good store and some great plants as well. We're just going to add these in now. Try not to disturb them too much. There we go. There we go, come on. Try not to bury them. Come on. Doesn't seem to want to come out. Oh, and there we go. Right, so they are all out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just add a bit of cover in here for them. So we're going to add some leaf litter. Where is that? Yeah, just add a bit of leaf litter for cover for them. And also they'll probably eat the leaves. So I couldn't find my bag of leaf litter earlier, even though we didn't use it the other day, so we'll add some more in when we do. But I think wood lice are gonna love a bit of wood, obviously, so we'll add that in there for them. Just move up, make sure I'm not squashing anyone. Dig that into the substrate a little bit. And just an odd little bit to shelter under there. Perhaps we'll add another bit there. Okay, so the only thing left to do now is I'm going to add a piece of carrot in there just as a bit of food. And that's probably enough, to be honest, with the 5 of them in there. So they're all set up now. So I'm just going to give them a quick spray down, nothing too much, just to dampen it down a little bit. And then we'll let them settle. Okay, so we've got these settled into the new setup now, so hopefully it'll breed and we'll get a lot more of them. As I said, I'm hopefully going to add some of these into the ball python setup when that's, well, made. So we're still waiting on the trim for that, for those who've been following the channel, so I'll keep you updated on what's going on with that. But something new I thought we'd do today, I've never tried to culture these, put the lid on these actually. Any springtails in the past, I've done it with I've never done it with isopods, but I've done it with springtails. And that seemed to work well, but I've started to get into fancy isopods, so there we go. So we might see a few more of these sort of things on the channel going forward. For those who've been following the channel for a while, the update on the snake, so that's coming a week Saturday, and I'm still waiting on a trim to start with the tank for that. Unfortunately, for those who were watching the video the other day, Steve, my beta fish, managed to jump out through the feeding hole of his lid of his tank. We wasn't looking too good for a while, and then we managed to keep them going for about 3 weeks, but unfortunately, yes, they passed away. So it wasn't a surprise, to be honest. A surprise he lasted as long. It was sad nonetheless, but we've got animals we need to care for and keep on top of, but he will be missed, and it was unfortunate, but I was a little bit relieved, to be fair. It was horrible seeing him suffer, and I was getting to that point where I felt like I needed to perhaps put him to sleeping away. And for those of you with fish, there's not really any nice ways of doing that. Really, a lot of people will say there's ways of doing things, but I think the only way of really humanely killing a fish is probably just cutting his head straight off. So try and do that to a pet. Imagine you had a sick cat and you have to cut his head off. What? That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I digress. So plenty of things coming up. There's a tank behind me you might be able to briefly see. That's 30 sealers waiting to be set up. So that's going to be an Ember Valley tank now. We're going to replace the Ember Valley tank we originally had. I'm going to get some more Ember tetras, and we're going to highlight that species in this tank. So if you want to see that escape, then make sure you subscribe. I think I'm probably going to go for some different type of shrimp this time. I'm thinking, I don't know really, what do you think? Let me know what sort of shrimp you think will look good with the Ember tetras. I'm hoping to do green only plants because we've got the ADA Aqua Sky, which will highlight those colours immensely. So go ahead and do that. I'm considering rescaping the 20 gallon as well. I was going to completely replace the tank and then scape it, but I've got an idea that might suit a tank with a lid, so we'll do that before we upgrade that setup. We've also got the ADA rack we still need to build. We've got other setups and the rest of the room to finish off. So if that's something interesting, then make sure you are subscribed. If you are following me on a regular basis and watch these videos, do me a massive favour and do what you always do and drop me that thumbs up. Leave me a comment, show YouTube you're enjoying this sort of content, and it allows you to make more videos like these. But I think that's enough of me walking on for one day, and I hope you enjoyed seeing something different on this channel for a while. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.